Hi, I'm Pat Overham with ICS, and on behalf of our entire team, I'd like to thank you for tuning in today. For the past 20 years, I've had the pleasure of working with K-12 school districts all over the state of Minnesota, and there's nothing more rewarding than seeing the potential for positive change transition into reality through facility projects. These projects are about way more than bricks and mortar. They're about positively impacting the people that are served by the facilities. Today, we wanted to focus on some projects that involve partnerships. Whether it's a school district partnering with a regional hospital to develop a community wellness center, or a school district that wants to partner with a business or industry partner to enhance career and technical education space or develop a fine arts auditorium, or a district that is partnering with a city or county to develop a joint use space. All of these types of projects have proven to be a very efficient use of taxpayer dollars. They've been a great way for these entities to share space and resources, and they've proven to be an incredible way to impact not only the students and the staff, but community members that utilize these facilities on a daily basis. And that's why we're excited about sharing some of these real-life partnership examples with you today.
Hi everybody, Dave Bergeron with ICS. I want to talk to you today about Brainerd Schools and the community partnerships that have helped them to better fulfill their mission of educating students. In April of 2018, the district again engaged their communities to help fund the needed improvements across the district. Question 1 was to address their elementary needs. Question 2 was to address their high school and secondary needs. And question 3 was to improve their high school auditorium to be more of a community performing arts center. The communities embraced the improvements and all 3 questions passed. One of the keys to the Brainerd process has been the district's commitment to strong community partnerships. Community partnership with the business community that has led to enhanced and improved career and technical education spaces. Community partnership with the arts community that has led to a community performing arts center. And spaces that are more welcoming to the communities to come in and use those spaces. This project has been extremely successful, mainly due to the number of community partnerships that the district has engaged in.
Well, I think everyone that has worked with me or knows me that I often use a saying that says, if you have any kind of a concept that you're going to do this alone, it's not going to work. It's not going to happen. And so one of the things that I believe that I brought to the project when I came is I kept telling people we need to hear from all of the constituents. From the beginning, we did several different listening sessions. I would say we did just about 200 different listening sessions. And a couple of those listening sessions had to do with the Brainerd Chamber. We also met with some of the business owners throughout the community and visited with them to see what they were looking for in a school if they were to support a project such as what we were bringing forward. And so often we heard the same things. First of all, they wanted to make sure that our students and our staff were safe. They also wanted to make sure that we had well-rounded and robust programs in the academics, the arts, the activities, and also in the athletics. They also were very interested in what we were doing as far as career and technical education and developing, having workforce development within our project. And so in our 8 goals, all of those items that they talked about were specific goals right from the beginning that we were going to focus on, and as we make our decisions even moving forward, that we'll take into consideration, because our community partners and our business community came out in support of this project because of how we ensured that those were passions for us as well, and we also felt that they were best practices for what we were going to provide students in the future and to provide the workforce of the future in the Brainerd Lakes area.
Can you talk a little bit about how the Chamber played a big role in helping the referendum through and still supports the project today?
Yeah, the Chamber was wonderful, and they were also critical in the passing of this referendum. But it's similar to what I said earlier in that we met with the Chamber many times, sometimes with just a few people all the way to the full board, to talk about, first of all, what is it that you are looking for in this project if you were to support it. We had several task forces. We had task forces to look at the budget and the financing for this project. We had Career and Technical Education Task Force with Workforce Development. We had a task force to look at the athletics and all of the health and wellness facilities. We had an arts task force to look at if we were able to pass the referendum to develop a regional performing arts center, what would the community need? And those are just a few of the examples where we brought the chamber in as part of the visioning for what the project would look like and what the project ended up when we went out to ask the community for their support. It's wonderful since we know now that this passed, but the arts community was instrumental in getting that third question passed and supporting it. We are currently on time, under budget, and really excited about the project and the cooperation that we've had from our chamber, our community, our staff, and working alongside with ICS and all of the contractors that have been a part of this project. Something we're extremely proud of is approximately 80% of all of our project to date is being done by contractors that are within 60 miles of Brainerd. And so this has just been a real boost to our contractors and such in our local community as well. And it truly is a community partnership focused on education.
The first thing I would say is that there's many aspects to a thriving community, and business and education are certainly two of those that as those two sectors go, so does the health of the community. And in Brainerd, one of our big challenges is attracting a qualified workforce to fill all the various job opportunities and career opportunities that we have here. So one of the first things that families look at when they move into town is the school system. That's the first thing that they want to see. The style is as important as the substance. And so when this referendum opportunity came in front of the chamber, we really looked at it very closely with the school district as a partner in a way to invest in our schools so that the substance was there, but so was the aesthetics and the style that we needed to attract families into the area. That was our showcase, and we wanted to invest in that. So we had a great partnership very early on. We had lots of meetings, lots of conversations. There was a sense of trust and transparency that was formed very quickly, and the business community got behind that referendum, and we're very proud of it.
In June of 2019, there was an article in the Minneapolis Tribune that was about the Brainerd $205 million investment in schools and how it was good business. Mm-hmm. And you had a quote in that article that there had to be a good business case to move forward.
Right.
And I'm just wondering how the district or the business community looked at the overall process and said there was a good business case for this to move forward.
The first thing that you need in order to have a partnership that's built on trust is you need a lot of transparency. And the school district really reached out to the business community via the Chamber of Commerce, via the Economic Development Association, and a variety of other business groups to not only just sell them on the idea, but to get feedback. There's a lot of smart people in the room in any community, from the business sector especially. So we looked at this not just whether there's a good case to be made for new shiny schools, but really what's the business case for it? What's the comfort level that the school district is really sharpening their pencils and making sure this was a good deal for the taxpayers within our county? And so when we looked at that as the business community, we looked at certainly the end product and that contributing to workforce development. But we also looked at that particular moment in time where the interest rates were low, the economy needed a little boost. And, the whole idea that we could do this all at once, it would be more affordable, it would be less piecemeal, and really questioned a lot of the different aspects in those proposals. and found out through that process that the school district was being very conservative, very responsible with what they were doing. And that gave our business community a lot of comfort. And I think when the chamber got behind it, it gave the community a lot of comfort that someone had really gone through this thing with a fine-tooth comb, and that was a good, positive partnership there. Like many communities, one of our goals is downtown revitalization. That was the heart of the community. That was the history of the community. And really, when communities die, they die from the inside out. And we recognize that. And that's why the Chamber and a number of other organizations has taken downtown revitalization and that economic development very seriously. Now, in the Brainerd area, we're blessed that we have the high school right in the downtown area. When you look at revitalizing downtowns, it really comes down to your ability to attract events, your ability to attract art, and create a sense of place and a sense of entertainment within that district. So to us, when they proposed the Performing Arts Center as an optional piece of the project, it made a ton of sense because it not only created opportunities for our students, but it created opportunities for our downtown. And all of that helps with revitalization, of course, but it also helps with attracting families. When they move to a community, they want to be proud of it and they want things to do. And that added that aspect. The school construction project really couldn't have come at a better time for our community, as COVID has really taken its toll on this area as a tourism community more than others across the state. The whole idea that this construction was getting done not just to one facility, but several schools throughout the community. And the fact that the school district prioritized working with local vendors, local contractors, buying services locally, but also buying products locally. That gave us a boost during this COVID crisis that we've all been enduring over the past 6 months. But even if it wasn't for that, it is so important for small towns to invest in themselves and keep dollars in their community, especially tax dollars. So you can feel the economic impacts, and I think we'd be a lot worse off today if it wasn't for very deliberate action to keep those dollars local and invest in ourselves. If another community is thinking about doing one of these bonding referendums, my advice would be not to take any shortcuts. The outreach is very important, whether it's the Chamber of Commerce, whether it's the Teachers Association, or whether it's the Quilters Club. They all deserve those very personal engagements and presentations. What we found is that good ideas and critical thinking come from everywhere. It's not just the elite organizations within a community. And I think when people feel part of it, they get behind it, the project improves because of those efforts. And they're more successful because people took the time to reach out. So what I would say is, for any community looking to do this, really go above and beyond in order to engage people, engage organizations, and make the project better and more successful. As communities approach these facility and community improvement projects, it really makes sense to have an organization that's going to be professional, that's going to be transparent, and that's going to be present in your community. In order to build trust and relationships, you just have to be there. And I can't say enough about ICS. They hosted more than 100 community meetings, and they were just as present as the school district or the chamber or any other community organization within the whole process. And that gave the community a lot of comfort that this company wasn't just coming in fly by night, doing a couple of presentations and then waiting for the outcome. They were truly engaged in the process, but they're also invested in the community. And I would just recommend that any city or school district looks to a firm like ICS to guide them along the path, because it's well worth the time and investment.
I'm Todd Rapp, CEO of Rapp Strategies, a communication firm headquartered in Minneapolis. We're a proud partner of ICS. We've worked with them on dozens of referenda around the state, and we've worked for literally 50 school districts on either operating or building referenda. Our job is to help them think through the strategic communications. How do you reach your communities and engage people in a long-term vision? The first superintendent I ever worked with looked at me and said, Todd, I just feel like we're going from referendum to referendum. And my response to him was that, don't forget that a referendum is really an outcome. It's a benchmark. It's how you demonstrate whether or not the community truly understands the direction the school district is going to go. When a school district steps forward to partner with the cities and the counties and the hospitals and other community leaders, what they're really doing is making a commitment not just to today, it's to the next 50 years. And there's some real advantages if you think about how you want to engage your community to doing it. First of all, it brings on a variety of new advocates who will step forward and communicate the vision. Secondly, it creates a different story, a story that goes beyond simply what's going to happen in pre-K through 12 education, but how the entire community and its residents from age 1 to age 90 are going to engage with the school district. Long after I'm gone, or your current superintendent or school board no longer runs for re-election, you've left an asset for the community. Because when you invest in your schools, you're investing in 50 years and several generations of students and staff. That's one of the reasons why community partnerships are so valuable, because of the investment you're making in the direction that your community is going, not just where they are today.
So thanks a lot for tuning in today. Our hope is that some of these real-life examples might spark some thought as to how a partnership might be the right solution for your facility needs. It can be difficult and challenging to try to develop these partnerships, but the outcomes are most certainly worth the work, and ICS is here to help, so feel free to give us a call. It's all about building strong connections.